In 2010, the United States gave $58 billion to 151 out of 192 countries in the world, including countries that may not be thinking about America's best interests. Should there be more transparency and accountability when it comes to foreign aid? We'll discuss it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Candace Kelly, and my guest is Representative Ted Poe, Republican from Texas. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Candace.
First of all, let's just go through some basics. How is money given to countries around the world? How is that voted upon, and how do we know how it's distributed?
Well, let's first of all divide the money. There's foreign aid and then there's military aid. These are separate pieces of legislation. The foreign aid goes to, as you said, over 150 countries. And being on the Foreign Affairs Committee, here's how it goes through the process. All 151 countries are put in one piece of legislation. And then when it gets to the House floor, members of Congress vote up or down for all 151 countries. Let's say, though, some members want to support aid to a particular nation like Israel, but they don't want to support it to some other country. It's either all or none.
So you vote in bulk,
we
so to speak.
vote in bulk, and that's a great phrase. It's everybody or it's nobody. We don't have the opportunity to vote country per country, up or down, whether they should receive American taxpayer money.
So you've introduced legislation that would require more accountability, an act called the Foreign Aid Accountability Act. And what exactly will that do? It
requires that members of Congress be allowed, have the opportunity to take each country and vote up or down whether we should give that country foreign aid or not. I think that's better because of the fact that we're giving American money away. We give a lot of money to countries that don't like us. We don't need to pay them to hate us. They'll do it for free. And I suspect that most members of Congress would not appropriate money to all 151 countries if they had the opportunity to vote up or down. The rules of this legislation, or the rules of foreign aid, do not allow us to separate each country. It's time that we separate each country.
Now, especially with this debt crisis, I'm sure that this is on a lot of people's minds. I would imagine that the numbers would change a little bit in terms of monies going to certain countries. And as you said, maybe some countries wouldn't get money at all.
That's correct.
Yeah.
For example, Pakistan. We're having an issue with Pakistan, where they're a loyal ally or not. They get millions of American money every year in foreign aid, plus military aid, and members of Congress need to be able to vote whether to continue aid to Pakistan or not.
Now, in terms of the purpose of the foreign aid that is given, what does it do? What is it specifically designed to do or change? I know that we create allies with this money, for example, but what, in your perspective, is it designed to do?
The foreign aid has multiple purposes. First of all, distinguish that between military aid. It is not military aid. It is aid that is humanitarian aid sometimes. Sometimes it goes to build schools in foreign countries. Even though we have trouble with our own schools and funding them, we're funding schools in foreign countries. All types of aid other than military aid, and it covers a multitude of different projects. And some of those projects need to be reevaluated in themselves.
Right, and then some of them are good, though, on the other side.
Some of them are good.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe those countries should receive some aid, maybe they shouldn't. But the point is, we don't have the option as members of Congress to vote country per country.
A lot of support on this, I'm sure you're getting. And what are people saying in Congress?
Well, there's bipartisan support to have the opportunity to vote up or down for these countries. And we are getting support for that. And because of a lot of reasons, one of them is the economic crisis the United States is in. We're spending money on foreign countries when we need to maybe charity starts at home and take care of some of the problems we have in this country rather than giving American money to other countries. That's one of the reasons. It's also a time to reevaluate foreign aid. Many of these countries don't support us. 60% of Americans want foreign aid cuts, so it's time to reevaluate it.
All right. Well, you have to come back and give us an update on how things are going with that. Good to see you.
Thank you, Candace.
All right. And thank you for joining us for this edition of Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Candace Kelly.